This is my first in a series of what I would call uh, fine dining, retirement style on the cheap, 101. Um, there are ways to uh, eat on the cheap with some pretty darn good food and not be dishonest about it or greedy or anything like that. Um, when you're retired, you have time to do these things. You have to do research first. There's a number of dairy and food chains in the area that have sample times. And a few malls around the area that also have food sample times also. And sometimes they have little grand opening gala parties and things like that, which you have to be cognizant of. You have to read the local paper and look at the local ads. I would suggest bringing your iPad, your iPhone, or if you're not high tech, pad and pencil. And it would take about a month or so, but some of these places you could figure out the days and times when the samples are out. And surprisingly, you don't have to really go around, and be greedy and try to pick up more than one sample each, because some of them have 5, 6, or 7 samples in one pass. And you could do that pretty much while you're shopping for your dinner. You could have lunch, sometimes breakfast. And this is all not having to eat at the McDonald's dollar menu, though I highly recommend their breakfast sausage burrito. They're only $1, and they're surprisingly good. And also, you have to be aware that, like places like the dollar menu, and they have senior coffee, which means you can get a medium or small coffee for $1. If you hold on to your cup, you can go back for free refills. Starbucks sometimes does that also. And there's like around the malls, there's like little food joints, like these pretzel places that put out free samples almost all day long. And you don't have to make many passes to get enough, and you don't have to like grab a whole handful either. So get your pad and pencil, iPad or iPhone out and start doing your research. Another good thing is what I call a sample food excursion. You expand your sampling area outside of your town and spend time making trips to other places that have samples, like these discount food outlets. They're famous for giving out a lot of samples, and you can make a pass on 2 of these places while you're shopping. Also, there's a lot, if you know what you're doing, there's a lot of these, I would call it lodge or church dinners. Occasionally, you will see them up in the hills of the lower Berkshires, roast beef dinner, church dinner. Sometimes, if you do your research, you can really do well at those. Also, you can get involved and volunteer for different social groups, senior centers, and often senior centers if you join a senior center, they have a lot of activities with a lot of samples and a lot of a lot of times cake and bake sales with homemade food. And if you participate and volunteer, you pretty much have a free range of a lot of free food that you don't have to buy which is also homemade. So there you go. Get your research out, find the times and places, do excursions, make notes, and you'll be doing some really fine retirement dining on the cheap. This is the old guy.